Welcome to the official Personality Guru. If you've ever researched the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator or Mbti, you may already know that the INTJ personality type is one of the rarest. Perhaps you've recently taken the test and been classified as an INTJ, and you want to learn more about what it means. What are some cognitive functions and personality traits associated with INTJs? Read on to learn more about the INTJ functional stack, common INTJ traits and characteristics, and some top career paths and hobbies INTJs may pursue. Today, let's talk about the INTJ Cognitive Function Stack. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the official Personality Guru and ring the bell icon to get regular updates on our latest uploads. And if you like this video, click the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Have you ever heard people use the word cognitive functions and wondered what they meant? When it comes to personality type, each of us has a particular set of cognitive functions arranged in a very particular order. This stack tells us which mental processes we prioritize, which we prefer, and which come more naturally to us or least naturally. Your Myers-Briggs Personality Type works to give you a way of understanding how your brain works and why you see the interpret situations in your specific way. It helps you to have more self-understanding and patience with yourself and others, and hopefully, in turn, develop healthier and more satisfying relationships. What do introverted and extroverted cognitive functions do? If a function is introverted, that means that is directed inwards and less obvious to the outer eye. The process of using this function is often deep, intensive, and solitary, but it still runs in the background of our mind in social situations. If a function is extroverted, that means that it is directed externally toward the environment and people. It is more obvious to the outer eye and often energizes through the interchange, discussion, or activity and external experimentation. One of the incredible things about cognitive functions is that they show us that we're all ambiverts in some way. All introverts have extroverted mental processes, and all extroverts have introverted mental processes. In the case of INTJ, they have introvert intuition and feeling, while extroverted thinking and sensing. Here are the INTJ's most valued functions, or INTJ primary function stack. Dominant function, introverted intuition, or NI. Auxiliary function, extroverted thinking, or TE. Tertiary function, introverted feeling, or FI. Inferior function, extroverted sensing, or SE. INTJ shadow function stack. Less valued, more unconscious. Opposing role function, extroverted intuition, or NE. Critical parent function, introverted thinking, or TI. Trickster function, extroverted feeling, or FE. Daemon function, introverted sensing, or SI. Dominant function, introverted intuition, or NI. As a dominant function, introverted intuition, or NI, provides INTJs with the ability to future prospect and witness present-day reality from a broad perspective. INTJs, perhaps more than any other type, play the long game. Their focus often concerns reaching for NI's internal ideal rather than the immediate needs of the moment, as extroverted sensing, or SE, would. Doing something fun might bring positive emotions to the surface now, but will that choice produce a beneficial outcome later? Most INTJs are in the ever-constant process of working towards something: a project, a degree, a business, a healthy partnership, building their own character, and etc. Living fully in the present doesn't allow them to speculate or engage with the plethora of visions within their unconscious. INTJs utilize NI in a number of ways. However, depth and foresight seem their strong suit. NI works as an ongoing background process that nudges the INTJ into where to move the chess pieces now in order to acquire an outcome they want later. It's a fair question to ask how much conscious control NI dominants have over their intuitive realm. NI doesn't work like a soda machine where a button is pressed and information pulls out immediately. NI insights well up from the unconscious at its own pace, cluing the INTJ into the thematic narratives playing out in their lives as well as the potential ebbing in the reality around them. NI hosts a daydream quality that functions beyond touch. The speed at which these inclinations come is not definitive. Auxiliary function, extroverted thinking, TE. As an auxiliary function, extroverted thinking or TE provides INTJs with the ability to accomplish their dominant introverted intuition or NI goals through effective work processes and systems. INTJs have the gift of seeing where they want to end up long before any steps forward are made. Auxiliary or TE simply tells the INTJ how they can best to make that happen. TE prioritizes what works in reality. TE generally isn't interested in philosophizing just to philosophize. Discussion should be useful and purposeful, often in the realm of improving the current state of things. In a way, TE is fairly optimistic. It recognizes there is always potential for improvement. TE logic states that if something can be done in a better way, it should be. Motivated by TE, INTJs are acutely aware that time is a resource that cannot be replenished and seek to use it well. When utilized together, well-developed NITE skillfully actualizes dreams. Dreams, in this case, mean internal ideals. NI provides the idealized image of what is to come, while TE sorts through actionable steps and selects the most useful ones. Once engaged, a sort of cognitive trail is marked. The INTJ can naturally follow the said trail in order to make the right moves, the most effective moves with the least energy expended towards accomplishment. Tertiary function, introverted feeling or FI. As a tertiary function, introverted feeling or FI provides the INTJ with the ability to assess their own values and feelings. FI ultimately serves the INTJ's dominant introverted intuition, NI by directing goals and ambitions towards achievements with personal significance. Once FI and NI are in alignment, extroverted thinking TE can plot the most effective route toward a meaningful endeavor. FI leads INTJs toward the path of self-discovery. The subjectivity of inner feeling grants its user an awareness of tastes and preferences that set them apart from everyone else. INTJs may have strong political affiliations or firm stances on concepts ranging from paganism to altruism. What proves important to the INTJ's sense of self or FI is typically pursued logistically. TE. INTJs do not equate enthusiastic feeling with the strength of feeling, which may cause some discomfort around highly extroverted feeling or FE users. For the INTJ, the deep sentiment comes from an inner place. Emotional attachment is not an external show for the other person so much as a place to hold on internal sense of moral rectitude and integrity towards another human being. Speaking the feeling may not do the feeling justice, and the tertiary function is personally noticeable in all types, but in this case does not carry the strength of the INTJ's dominant NI or auxiliary TE. While tertiary FI grants INTJs the ability to assess whether individuals carry genuine intent, the reading of a situation will be more black and white than FP types to allow a wider range of the emotional spectrum to guide actions. Some INTJs may also be put off by those who externalize emotion only to cause a scene or entice another person towards a particular action. Inferior function, extroverted sensing or SE. As an inferior function, extroverted sensing, SE, provides the INTJ with the ability to witness the objective reality in their own physical response or presence. INTJs will have limited awareness of this as most of their energy will be naturally directed toward their dominant introverted intuition or NI. The inferior function is known to trip up its user in unique ways. Dominant SE users, ESTPs, and ESFPs are skilled at being present, although they often struggle to see the positive or negative long-term consequences of their moment-by-moment choices. INTJs have the opposite problem. INTJs can be so focused on the ultimate outcome of a particular endeavor that they never partake in the pleasure of now. Or, when they do, it's an excessive form of experiencing that might include some form of dopamine-seeking or adrenaline-seeking behavior that lacks concern for their personal safety. Carl Jung calls SE types the ultimate realists. NI types, however, naturally focus on symbols and meaning. In a case of extreme preference for their dominant function, INTJs may find themselves removed from reality to the extent they do not feel at home in their bodies or in their environment. INTJs may focus so heavily on the thematic structuring of their experience that they never actually live. INTJs may also prove sensitive to a sensory stimulus. Opposing role function, extroverted intuition, or NE. As the opposing role function, extroverted intuition or NE reminds INTJs that their dominant introverted intuition or NI may be limited in scope, which could result in their missing crucial information for the development of their visions. NE generally produces limitless possibilities and potential outcomes. NE is open-minded and adaptable. NP types with strong NEUs tend to change their minds as more information are gathered. However, NJ types with strong NI user are typically settled in their conclusions. The opposing role function checks and balances the dominant function. NI is not built to take into consideration multiple possibilities, nor is it inclined towards breadth. INTJs utilize NI to know the right way to move and are generally settled in their standpoint. Thus, NE, which generates multiple ways to view things, may prove distracting to INTJs, or perhaps even annoying, much like a wasp that refuses to leave. However, shadow functions can be utilized for growth rather than discontent. The dominant function and the opposing role function seem to showcase what iron sharpens iron means. If an INTJ can patiently consider what diverse possibilities NE conjures, it may prove to further strengthen and refine the INTJ's own stances and future projections. If NE brainstorming finds holes in the INTJ's vision, it's for the INTJ's betterment. Bringing to light weak areas that NI hasn't picked up on will provide a clear view of the reality of their approach. When considering potential career fields, it might be helpful to know that multiple tracks are available for a given destination. Critical parent function, introverted thinking, or TI. As a critical parent function, introverted thinking or TI reminds the INTJ to consider the fundamental properties of the information they consume and distribute rather than focus on its usefulness or TE. TI cares about creating a solid framework to build upon. TI does not focus on the applicability of an idea as CE often does, but on its underlying principles. INTJs can feel dysregulated by TI because in the critical parent role, TI can host a childing tone. Do you have ample reason to trust the information you're getting? What proof do you have that these statistics weren't taken from a particular angle? Couldn't this credentialed author have a particular agenda behind what they're pushing despite all of their education? If you break your argument down into component points, what you are actually saying isn't accurate. INTJs ultimately want to reach their meaningful visions in the most efficient way possible, which necessitates tangible results and efficiency. TI can seem like a nuisance to enacting their goals and visions. How about you as an INTJ or any other personality type? What are your cognitive function stacks? Be sure to watch until the end and share your experience for a chance to have your comment pinned. Trickster function, extroverted feeling, or FE. As a trickster function, extroverted feeling or FE reminds the INTJ that their presence does affect the mood of the room. Regardless of whether they're trying to build harmony or not, typically INTJs focus in on their desired outcomes, NIFI, and how they can best meet these ideations in a tangible way, TESE. Considering the emotional needs of the group isn't a natural mode for INTJs to go about their day. An INTJ's auxiliary extroverted thinking or TE does care about witnessing others achieve effective results for themselves. But the INTJ does not care about speaking tactfully just so others feel good. It's unlikely that INTJs notice how their general presence in a group affects the group as a whole. But others will respond to the INTJ's energy anyway and accordingly. FE dominant types, ESFJs and ENFJs utilize FE in order to enforce social standards and create a shared emotional experience. Philosophically, FE would endorse platitudes that privilege community members, sharing and giving to one another. Help your neighbor or love your family reflect the sort of collectivist expectations FE holds for individuals. INTJs, however, may view such cutesy sayings as inauthentic. The trickster FE targets the INTJs to share an introverted feeling or FI, ideal of genuine, individualized feeling. Before we continue, if you enjoy this video, make sure to give us a like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the official Personality Guru for more amazing videos. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to stay updated with our content. Daemon function introverted sensing SI. As a daemon function, introverted sensing SI reminds the INTJ to pause their dominant introverted intuition or NI projections in order to focus on their inner body sense and the trail of moments they have experienced from their past. Easier said than done, as INTJs do not function comfortably in this space. The Daemon function calls out from the depths to redirect one's life in a major way. The Daemon function is often the reset button. INTJs often feel quite removed from their bodies and have a strong preference for the contemplations that keep them honed in on their deep connection with unconscious NI material. INTJs do, however, seem more able than INFJs to recognize when they need to eat and sleep, perhaps due to their auxiliary extroverted thinking or TE, which puts them on a schedule because TE acknowledges that bodies are systems that need to be maintained, as all systems do. Even so, INTJ has a weak awareness of their internal bodily sensations. They may not notice their hunger until hours later. Perhaps they learn this and set timers to eat, or they're developing sickness until it's beyond the scope of at-home treatment. NE dominants, ENTP and ENFP, and NI dominants have similar constraints and issues in this regard. In scope, SI focuses on the microscopic while NE encompasses the whole of a consciousness, whereas SI dominants, ISTJs, and ISFJs will focus on individual elements of a painting. A lush tree, a touch of purple in a flow. An NI dominant will contextualize the painting within art as a whole, realist, abstract, expressionist, and etc. What specifically differentiates an INTJ from an ISTJ is the division between expansive inner knowing NI and the methodical ordering of one's detail-oriented past or SI. Clearly, for an INTJ to shift into SI mode, its entire way of being would have to completely alter itself. The remaining SI land is not sustainable for the INTJ.